The Joe Rogan Experience.
Listen, we claim to be the greatest nation on the face of this earth. I have a problem with that. And don't get me wrong, I'm a patriot, I love my country, but I do have a problem with that statement. And I'll say that perhaps we are the greatest nation on the face of this earth technologically. After all, we put a man on the moon. We invented the technology to carry that man to the moon safely and allow him to walk around, get back in his lunar module, and come back to Earth safely. We invented that technology. Not only that, when Neil Armstrong was up there walking around and made that famous one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind quote, we were able to talk with him live, all the way from Earth, NASA headquarters, all the way to the moon, live, via satellite radio phone. We invented that technology, Americans. Everybody you know has a cell phone. Everybody you know has email. Hit a few words, hit a few numbers, hit send. You're talking to people next door in Nevada or over in Africa, China, Australia, wherever you want to talk, anywhere on the face of this earth. We invented that technology. So how is it that we as Americans can talk to people as far away as the moon or anywhere on the face of this earth, yet so many of us have difficulty talking to the American who lives right next door because he or she is a different color, a different religion, a different ethnicity, a different persuasion, a different whatever. It seems to me that before we can call ourselves the greatest, our ideology needs to catch up to our technology. And when we get ourselves up there, both of them up there, then we can truly brag about how great we are. Because we are living in the 21st century. We are living in space age times, yet there's still so many of us thinking with Stone Age minds. What is this doing in the 21st century? What was it doing in any century? But yet in the 21st century, you got to be kidding me.
Well, it brings me back to what you were saying earlier, that the problem is education. The problem is ignorance, right? And the solution to education is ignorance. And this is sort of the same thing when it comes to radicalizing young people online, right? One of the reasons why that works at all is because these young people are susceptible to other ideas because their intelligence immune system is very low. They don't have a lot of data. They don't have a lot of education. They don't have a lot of information, and they don't have a lot of perspective. So they can be tricked. They can be roped in.
Yes.
And this is the same with everything. This is the same with what you were talking about with not trusting your neighbors because they're a different nationality or a different color, and not communicating with people that are any different than you, and then being toxically tribal. It's all kind of the same thing. It's like there's a lack of understanding of what the consequences of that are globally and in personally to your own life.
Well, again, back to Minds. Minds is going to help those young kids get those perspectives. We'll have people on there who are the experts and sucking those kids into these things. I know a former jihadi srecruiter for ISIS who used to recruit kids to put them in ISIS here in the States. Okay, get him, Jeff Scoop, the guy from the NSM. He knew what to do in order to lure people into his movement.
What's the NSM?
A National Socialist Movement,
yeah.
the Nazis.
Same thing.
Yeah. So these people are willing to help on Minds and help point out these different things, these little telltale signs as to what to look for. So parents can spot this doesn't sound right, blah blah blah.
Right.
Get my kid off of here and give kids a better perspective.
Does Minds have a video component to it, or
it will?
It will.
It will absolutely,
So they're
absolutely.
thinking about working on that now.
Yeah.
See, that is for better. I mean, whether it's correct or not, that's apparently the people that are really worried about people being radicalized online. They're more concerned with that than anything else. With video, there's something about the compelling videos.
And you find the music and the video and everything.
Yes.
Oh yeah, because kids grab, because they play video games all day. It lures them in. But back to what I was saying before, and I can't quite finish it. What's happening that we don't see in the media a lot is this. When I was a kid, The black population in this country was 12%, 11.9, 12%. Excuse me. Native Americans, just under 1%. Hispanic people, Latino people, 2 and 3%. Asians, 4%. White people, 84, 86%. So white people of the supremacist type mindset, their biggest nemesis, of course, were black people at 12%. Whoa, that's way too much. They didn't care anything about Native Americans. Their attitude was, that's just 1%. Stick them on a reservation, forget about them, right? And that's where these negative terms come from, that a lot of people don't realize are insulting terms. When you say somebody's gone off the reservation. You've heard that term before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never even thought of that until just now.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
You don't realize it's a negative term.
Yeah.
Or when somebody says, that's none of your cotton picking business. Okay. Who picked cotton? Right.
Right.
Okay.
I thought it was a nice way of saying motherfucking. Like you want to people say freaking.
Yeah.
It's none of your cotton picking business, but yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Or when somebody comes from the wrong side of the tracks.
Oh, yeah, that one's obvious.
Yeah. The railroad track divided blacks on one side, whites on the other.
Yeah.
The wrong side, of course, was the black side. But anyway, so their biggest nemesis, if they were of that supremacist mindset, were black people. 12% is too much, right? Now, today, black people, we remain at 12%. We've not grown. 12.6 if you look at 2017 census. We have not grown, 12%. Native Americans are still at 1%. Asians are at 6%. Hispanics have surpassed us. They're like at 13% or something, just above 13%. So let's just take 12% black, 13% Hispanic, let alone 6% Asian or whatever. That's 25% non-white. This is happening, okay? And it's well predicted by 2042, which is 22 years from now, this country, for the first time in history, will be 50% white and 50% non-white.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, 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 right? So the story you've seen is true. Now, that is a very hard pill to swallow for people of that mindset. They're becoming unhinged and disconcerted,
Well, that was the "they will not replace us" thing, right?
Precisely. Exactly. And now you're getting it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what they call the browning of America.
Yeah.
And the white genocide. And see, what they're doing is these groups are stepping up their recruitment efforts now. Because one of the main problems in this country, one of the main concerns, is illegal immigration. So these groups are saying, "Hey, we're against illegal immigration too. Come join us." They're getting on a legitimate bandwagon. But when they say illegal immigration, it's a code word. It's a code word for people from South America, Mexico, West Africa. Okay, because there are plenty of people here in this country right now who are here from Canada.
Nobody gives a fuck about Canadians coming in here.
Exactly. Canadians or people from the UK or Eastern Europe. Because
the Canadians speak perfect English too.
Sure.
They slide right in.
And it doesn't even matter if they speak perfect English or not. If you're, these Nazis and Klan people tell me, Daryl, I don't want my grandkids to be brown. Well, if their kid were to marry somebody from Canada, their grandkid's going to be white. Or the UK or Eastern Europe, they're going to be white. But if they let their grandkids marry somebody from El Salvador or Guatemala or Nigeria, heaven forbid, right?
Heaven forbid.
It's a trouble. So what happens is this. They say, come join us. We're going to take our country back. We're going to build that wall, blah, blah, blah. So people see the landscape changing, and so they go and join these groups. And the group doesn't do anything. So then what happens? They say, you know what? If the Klan can't do it, if the NSM can't do it, I'll do it myself. And that's when they walk into a synagogue, boom, 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 or into a black church, boom, 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 or El Paso, boom, 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 boom. Okay? These are called lone wolves. Now, we have intelligence agencies or whatever that can infiltrate some of these groups and get in there and get all the stuff and foil those plots, gather intelligence. But you cannot infiltrate a lone wolf. It's only one person, right? And as we get closer and closer to 2042, unfortunately, we're going to see more and more of these lone wolves. And that's what we have to watch out for. So you notice every time one of these white supremacist types gets busted and they go and raid his home, what do they find? A whole cache of automatic weapons and all that kind of stuff. That's for the race war.